All right, guys. I am coming live right now because we did not have enough time to actually do what I wanted to do this evening. I will be actually on an airline flight to Dallas, so the schedule was changed, and so I thought I better go live today, because if I don't go live now, last week I wasn't able to go live due to some type of strange problem that was going on with, of all things, for some reason we were being banned. We were being censored from all the social media channels. We thought there was a technical issue, but basically right now at the International Association for a Disease-Free World, the private group that I have, we have a Facebook group that's a private group there, and even though it's my group, I can't even post on my own Facebook group right now. It's that ridiculous. So it just kind of shows you the problems that we've been having. So last week we had the weekend, Memorial Day weekend, we had the Advanced Medicine Conference. At the conclusion of that conference, there's a lot of incredible things happened. There's been a lot of misinformation that's put out since that Advanced Medicine Conference, which I won't go through today, but there will be a video that goes into it in more detail. But the reason I'm doing the live stream right now is because this evening, as I said, I'll be on a flight and I would have missed it again, and I wanted to make sure that I got this out. For the IADFW, if you're an IADFW member, guys, just understand that I am not able to post anything myself. My moderators can, but I can't. So we haven't tested the live stream option yet. We tried doing it last week, it didn't work. Now live stream is working, but I don't know whether IADFW is going to work or not. So I'm just letting you know that up front. I know that there's probably not going to be a lot of people watching this at this point because people are at work, but at least the recording will be there and people can watch it. Now there are 8 different points that I want to bring up, and I just wanted to make sure that I had an opportunity to do that as quickly as possible. The first thing is that, and this is time sensitive, something changes at 4 o'clock in another 6 minutes. So I'm not sure exactly what the details are, but if you go to askdrbuttar.com/ask, there is the normal intake form that you guys are probably used to, but if you fill that in just with the name and email address, your phone number, they'll take you to a page, and in that page you're going to see the very first thing is about a CIA declassified document that is Russian research that was for the Russian government only, and the CIA declassified it in, I believe it was in 2012. Now, we just put that out, or the 5G Summit just put that out, I think it was only 3 days ago, and I just let my followers know yesterday morning at 7:45, and I think if it's not already the most popular component of that summit, it's very close. This is the second most popular. They've already pulled it out of the summit itself and made it a freebie for everybody that registers to watch it for free anyway, but now they've pulled it out as a bonus gift. So you can watch it, but I think that ends at 4 o'clock, so just in a few more minutes. So if you do see this and you haven't registered yet, you want to go ahead and click on askdrbuttar.com/ask, the link right below me right now. You can't click on it, you're going to have to type it in, and it'll be the intake form. Just fill in, if you've already filled it in before, you don't have to fill it in again. Just type in your name, email address, and update anything that you may want to update, but then that'll take you to the next page. And as soon as you get to the next page, the very first thing is to register for this 5G Summit, and there you're going to get the free registration bonus. It'll take you right to the page where you can watch that hour-and-a-half interview that Josh Del Sol did with me, and it was really a pretty powerful interview, because there was a lot of that research that I wasn't even aware of, and after going through the research and then explaining what that research actually meant, what the implications of that research were, it was really something that I wasn't even aware of. But you know, the interesting thing is I have never allowed myself to go through the 5mm TSA security checkpoints at the airport. I've never done that. I've actually missed a couple of flights because I opted for the pat out and pat down. I've always gotten the pat down, or I had TSA pre-check, so I would go through the pre-check line. I didn't have to go through the machine where you raise your arms up and you go through that process. And that's the 5mm technology that we're talking about. And so we talk about that. We talk about all the implications of the research that was released by the Russian government, but it was for governmental use only, and then it was declassified in 2012 by the CIA. So check that information out. It's very important, very powerful. Second that I wanted to bring up is there's a lot of stuff that's been going on that is disturbing, and we want to talk about some of those things that are disturbing, but the most important part is that the censorship issues from social media, as well as the mainstream media's misinformation campaign, has caused a lot of problems. We have 7 days left for our petition. I think we've got about 40,000 signatures to go. So when you, again, if you go to askdrbuttar.com/ask, you fill in that initial segment. When you get to that point that I mentioned to you where you can register for the summit and watch that presentation, the CID classified, right below that you'll see the petition that you can sign. Just click on it, sign the petition, and then pass that on to other people. Pay it forward, let them know that there's a petition, and you can let them also register for the CID classified documentation on the Russian research. There's absolutely no problem. In fact, just take the email that you got, if you did get an email, and forward it. If you didn't get an email, then just go to this link and feel free to pass it on to other people. All right, it's very important that we get this censorship petition signed with 100,000 signatures. You already know that President Trump has already signed an executive order, and that's what it was asking for, an executive order, but we still want to fuel that and complete the task so that we get an official response back from the White House. So we're about 40,000 signatures short. We've got about 60,000 signatures right now. We've got a week left, so please push that through. I would appreciate that. The next thing that I want to bring up is I'm going to bring up what happened with my own videographer, Nabil. So his father decided to go ahead and contact the authorities in Bangladesh and have his family tested. And all 6 family members, with the exception of one, tested negative. The one that tested positive was Nabil, my video guy. Now what was interesting is the police arrived at their house with the hospital staff, and they gave him 2 options. They said, one, you can stay here and we're going to lock the entire building down. The whole apartment building would be locked down. Or 2, you can go with us to the hospital and then we'll leave the building open, which makes no sense that if the person goes with them, they're going to leave the building open versus lock it down. So he just complied with them. He went to the hospital, and I've talked with him yesterday. He's been in the hospital now for 2 days. He's supposed to be released Tuesday. They've put him on some kind of medication, which he doesn't know what it is. He's asked them, but they haven't told him anything. It's made him feel drowsy. I have no idea what they've given him, but set an intention that he gets better, and that, I mean, he's not sick anyway. He hasn't had any symptoms or anything, but anyway, this is a part and parcel of the illusion by doing the testing and the testing having a high false positive. And again, we know that the studies have shown that people that have gotten the trivalent flu shot in the past have tested positive. That the studies with the cat model have shown that cats that had gotten the trivalent flu shot tested positive for COVID-19, even though they didn't have any exposure to COVID-19. And we know that there's many other things that are in the vaccines that we didn't know about. For example, glyphosate is not being found in vaccines, and we never knew that before. And there's many other unhealthy, unsafe, dangerous components in vaccines that we haven't known about. And then as we determine that these things are inside our vaccines, we become aware of them, and then people protest. But many times we don't even know what's in there. So that's another component that I want to make sure that everybody was aware of. But set that intention for Nabil that he makes it through, and he's going to be fine. And I hope that he is. But it's just, it's interesting that people trying to do the right thing by getting tested for the family then create these type of problems for their own family members. So ask the questions in your mind. Why? Why is this happening? Why are they asking us to have this? If somebody's already at home, they're already self-quarantined, then why are you going there and removing them from a quarantined issue to put them in a further quarantine, which makes no sense. Plus, if it's so dangerous and so virulent and so contagious, then don't you think that the whole family members would have it? It's almost like an oxymoron. It's reverse psychology that, oh, wait a second, so terrible that you gotta maintain 6 foot distance, you gotta wear a face mask, but oh, you're inside the house and 5 people don't have it and you have it? I mean, again, it just doesn't follow any logic, because there is no logic, because it's not based on science. It's based on propaganda, misinformation, and garbage. All right, so I think you guys already know all that. Now, I'm gonna be creating a page on AskDrButtar.com, and it's going to be all about the face mask. It's going to have the science, it's going to have the literature, it's going to have a couple of videos that we did talking specifically about the face mask and how ridiculous it is, but all the components in there, including the research that's been done, including the research that was done on surgeons and showing the hypoxic injury that they had, all the different research that's been done on the face mask, as well as how you can make sure that you can maintain your sovereign right that is enforceable by the U.S. Department of Justice, that nobody can force you to do something that is harmful to you, and wearing a face mask is harmful to you. And also, as part of the Americans Disability Act and HIPAA, nobody can ask you what those reasons are, and so that there's going to be instructions for you to actually help you, that if you don't want to wear a face mask, that you can show the science, and you can also use the law in your favor. And if you have COPD, if you have a heart condition, if you have emphysema, if you have any kind of asthma, you have reactive airway, you have any type of allergy to any of the components in the face mask, that is going to cause you to end up having serious effects. Okay, it's going to reduce your oxygen input, it's going to increase your cortisol, drop your immune system, throw you into sympathetic mimetic drive, all sorts of things. So that page is going to be set up to empower you, and it's going to give you certain language, and it's going to give you certain resources, including the Department of Justice, so you can contact them if anybody violates your rights, and also will give you this the actual statute, the governmental statute, and instructions on how to get the information of whoever tries to force you to wear a face mask, because that's a $75,000 fine to them, the first offense, and $150,000 fine the second offense, and each subsequent offense. So all those instructions are going to be put up there for you. We'll probably announce that page, the link to it, next week. I'm in the process of getting that created right now. All right. The last two things I want to talk about, there's last three things I want to talk about. One is the misinformation that's going on, you know, the issue with our incredible offsprings, our children, and how this COVID-19 pandemic has influenced the mindsets of our children and how disturbing that is. And what I want you to be aware of, I'll just tell you a quick story what happened. There was a father that was walking out of the store with his son. They both had face masks on. The son's face mask fell off his face to the ground. The child fell to his knees, started crying and screaming, and the father grabbed his son and said, "What's wrong? What's wrong?" And the son said, "My face mask fell off." And the father says, "It's okay. You know, what's the big deal with the face mask falling off?" And the kid said, "I'm going to die." This is what the psychological impact of this misinformation campaign has done, that our children, our offspring, our future generations believe now that it is not safe to breathe the air that surrounds us, the beautiful, clean, healthy air, because of this misinformation campaign. So, you know, there's been a lot of things that are in our air that are dangerous, but we've never forced people to wear face masks and scare the life out of them, and that's exactly what's happening right now. So we need to change this mindset. We need to help people to understand that this is not true, this is not based on fact, this is not based on science, this is misinformation, this is propaganda, it's politically manipulated, and there are agendas at hand over here. Remember, there's an incentive for these states that are putting these mandates in. They're getting a lot of money, $39,000 for every patient that gets put on a respirator that has a COVID-19 diagnosis, and anybody else that's not put on a respirator, they get a $17,000 reimbursement. So there's a lot of incentive for them to inflate these numbers so they get more reimbursement. So it's just set up really, really badly. And it broke my heart when I heard the story of this child and I saw the video. It was just very disturbing. So we have to do everything we possibly can, and that's the reason I'm putting together that page about face masks, so that you can get the information, become empowered with it, and that way nobody can victimize you, and then you can also take that information and pass it on to other people. All right. Just three more things. I know I said three more things before, that would have been seven, so it's three more things now. We talked about Nabil, we talked about the attack on the psyche, we talked about the petition, we talked about the 4G summit, we talked about the page on the face mask that we're going to create. So those five, and we've got three more things. The first thing is, first of the last three things is I did a interview yesterday with Michael Rood from Rood Awakening, and it's a ministry. He's a phenomenal guy. I had a really good time with him, great chemistry, and that video is going to be released probably in the next 24 hours. It was really a powerful interview, and I find that the interviews that I do with people that I connect with are actually the best interviews. And again, the 5G summit one, you know, the one for the CID classified, I mean, that just, the information is just phenomenal, and Josh and I had great chemistry on there too, but that information you need. But this interview was more general, and so anyway, that will be also available. Both those interviews will be put on YouTube, but we know that there's a censorship issue with YouTube. We know there's a censorship issue with Facebook. So I don't know how often those things are going to be kept up, how many times they're going to be taken down, but I will tell you this, I will make the announcement, and this is the number 7 thing. I'll make the announcement right now that we are working on a solution that will be non-censored, that you can come to and watch anytime on any of your smart devices, on your computers, on your phone. You'll be able to actually watch it on Roku. You'll be able to watch it on iOS, on Android, and projected on Apple TV, and it won't be censorable. So it'll be our own private station that we're working on that right now. So if you are interested in that, stay subscribed or click on askdrbuttar.com/ask and make sure you put your information in, then we'll notify you. On a side note, if you're not getting our emails and you want to get our emails, then make sure that you check your spam folder, because you should have been getting emails. Now we have a lot of people that subscribe, and some of those people unsubscribe, and that's fine. They won't get any more information. You can unsubscribe anytime you want, but it's really so that we can keep you abreast with some of the information. And so that resource that we'll have for you, it'll be completely free. Now there may be a subscription basis so that you, if you want to get some of the other paid programming, then you'll have an access to do that. It'll kind of be set up like a Netflix type thing, but it'll be, our goal is to have a lot of medical information there from many different sources that's good, solid, true information, not the propaganda misinformation that we hear about. So that's coming down the pipeline very, very soon. And that was number 7. And the last thing is I just want to leave you with a quick little resource. That resource is a technique that I think that you might find beneficial. And it's part and parcel of what the HeartMath Institute teaches about using your mindset to help to re-regulate your heart. So opening up, it's almost like a meditative stance that you want to take, but it's just a visualization actually, and how to relax your body, relax your heart, and to help you ease the stress of everyday life stressors, but especially at this time with the COVID-19, with the rioting, with the misinformation campaigns, the looting and all this other stuff. I want to tell you guys that there are many, many documented cases over the last few days where police officers and law enforcement and even military have stood side by side with protesters. They've taken a knee, they've hugged, and then we see all this other stuff with all these rioting going on. But you know what? There's a lot of other propaganda stuff going on where these rioters are actually being paid, and we have video documentation of rioters admitting that they were paid to stimulate and create discourse among protesters, peaceful protesters, to create more anger, frustration, and get them to lash out. And these protesters actually even said where they got paid by. They told who paid them. They told them which website to go to, and it becomes pretty evident. Okay, so I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm going to let you discover that. We will put out some of those videos, but there's a lot of information that should be put out. So let me go over this technique that you can do. Simply take your hand and put it over your heart. Just put it over your heart, and pretend there's a hole. Okay, pretend there's a little hole. So think of your hand having a hole right here, like a mouth right here. You put your hand over your heart, and you start taking a deep breath in. And when you take a deep breath in, your diaphragm should actually go down, and your stomach should come out. So when you take a deep breath in, it's like think of it as a vacuum. Okay, it's your abdomen expands out as you take a breath in, and as you exhale, the air goes from your abdomen, pushes back down, and the air goes out. So it's actually counterintuitive to how most people breathe. When most people take a breath in, they're sucking in their gut. It should be the other way around. When you take a deep breath in, your abdomen should expand, and then when you breathe out, your abdomen should compress in, and you breathe out. Now what you're going to do is you're going to visualize your hand, that hole in your hand, as being the mouthpiece that you're breathing in and out of. So when you take a deep breath in, you're breathing in through that hand. Think of your heart as breathing in, inflating like a balloon. All right? And as you exhale out, it comes down like a balloon, and it's pushing that air out through the back of your hand. So you're breathing in through your hand and out through your hand. That's what I want you to visualize. And you do this for 5 or 6 counts. All right? And let's do that let's do 6 counts in breath, 6 counts out. Again, visualize the hole in your hand. When you breathe out, the abdomen comes in, and you're breathing out through that hole in your hand. This is very similar to diaphragmatic breathing, except you're doing it through your hand. It is diaphragmatic breathing, but you're doing it using the HeartMath Institute's thought process of breathing through your heart. And what that does is it brings you into heart coherence, all right? Heart-mind coherence. It's a way of relaxing your body, reducing your sympathetic mimetic drive, reducing peripheral vascular resistance, and opening up your body to relaxation and to other input, okay? So your body can actually, the heart doesn't have to fight as hard to overcome the inertia of the vasoconstriction of your blood vessels, which is a part and parcel of the sympathetic mimetic drive when you're in the sympathetic tone, when you're in the flight-fight response. So it helps you relax that, so the heart doesn't have to push as hard doesn't have to contract as hard to push the blood through your heart. So it's a massive change in your physiological cascade. And if you just practice this, the more you practice, the better you get. So just remember, hand over your heart, pretend there's a hole here. You're breathing in through your hand, you're breathing out through your hand. And when you take a breath in, your heart's expanding, which makes your stomach go out, makes everything expand. When you breathe out, everything collapses down and the air gets pushed out through your hand, through the hole in your hand, all right? That's a technique. So as an overview, the 8 things I wanted to talk about, and I'll just mention these real quick again, that we had, there's a new source of information coming to you where you'll be able to watch all the videos without any censorship, and that's going to be coming soon. There's going to be a page on Ask Dr. Buttar regarding the face mask. I'm looking down at my notes here to make sure that I don't forget. There's the registration for the CIA declassified document that the CIA declassified in 2012. That was Russian research from 1977, but there's a whole summit on the 5G, and if you register there, you can watch the whole thing for free. I think it starts today. I think the deadline to watch that video may have been at 4 o'clock, but I may be wrong. Regardless, even if it is wrong, you can send an email. If you can't watch it anymore, you send an email to info@drbuttar.com, and we will make sure that we get that. In fact, you don't even have to do that, because we're going to get that. We're probably going to release that in the next 24 hours or 48 hours, so everybody will be able to see that. They were using that as a freebie for people to register, but just go and register. Again, askdrbuttar.com/ask. Click on there, fill in the information, and then it'll take you to a page, and then just go through for the censorship. That's one component, and for the 5G summit, so you can get all that information for free. Sign the petition, the registration. Just wanted to bring up about the psyche of the children and how we have to adjust that, and that's why I'm creating the page. Keep Nabil in your intent, and I hope that he comes through this. And then, of course, the breathing through your hand. That was number 7, and the Michael Rood Awakening show that we did. So I hope you enjoyed this short little live stream. Again, I won't be on tonight. I'm doing this in lieu of that. I want everyone to know that next week, hopefully, I will be able to be on live at the regular schedule, although I am coming back from Las Vegas after some filming. So again, it may be delayed, and these last couple of weeks have been a little chaotic, but I'm going to try to be online by 8:15, 8:20 on New York time, because I'll be landing, I think, at around 7:30, so it's going to be cutting it close. But just in case, I'm just letting you guys know up front. And hopefully we'll have the IADFW component figured out by then. If you're not getting our emails, please check your spam folder and go ahead and whitelist us. And I think that's all I have for you guys today. So I appreciate your support. Let people know about this. We haven't had too many live streams that we've done recently in the last 2 weeks. Advanced Medicine Conference was phenomenal. We will have the downloads available for people soon. Oh, there are 2 other things I wanted to mention on a side note. If you were at the Advanced Medicine Conference, or you're aware of anyone, or you yourself ordered my book, The 9 Steps to Keep the Doctor Away, it's a hard copy book. And let me see if I have a copy right here. It's a hard copy book. It looks like this, all right? It's hardback. Now, somebody has been hijacking what we understand it was Target, that has paperback versions of this book, and it's a much bigger version, but it's paperback, and they have violated our copyright. They've infringed on our copyright, and they're printing those books out. And there were people that came to the Advanced Medicine Conference that were asking me to autograph it, which I was happy to do, but Target has broken the law. So if you have bought one of those books, please send us the receipt of where you bought it from. There's no problem. I have no problem with you having bought the book, and I appreciate your desire for the book. We only need a couple of people that we can use in the lawsuit against Target, because we know that we've had a lot of loss of revenue from that. So please, if you have bought the book, or you know anybody that did buy the book, you have the receipt, so we know who you purchased from. We just know that it was from the Target website. And if you could send that to us. If your book is not a hard copy book, whoops, excuse me, that was an Instagram. Hopefully that didn't hurt anybody's ears. So hopefully that didn't hurt anybody's ears. But if it's not a hard copy version of the book that you got, then you got a hijacked copy. You got a copy that wasn't true. And so please send us that information, and just send it to info@drbuttar.com. That would be great. If you could just send it to info@drbuttar.com, Really appreciate it. And we only need a couple people to do that, but whoever sends that in, you'll get a free gift from me for our way of saying thank you for letting us know the truth. Again, I have no problem that you bought it because you guys didn't know. You were just getting the book because you wanted the information. But they are violating a copyright on the book, and they you shouldn't be able to do that. That's basically, again, that's a criminal offense in my book. When you steal somebody's thing, that's no different than stealing somebody's car or house or whatever. So if you would, please send it to info@drbuttar.com with the receipt and where you bought it from. I would really appreciate it, and we're going to get something out for everybody as a way of saying thank you very much for your facilitation of getting this information and righting that wrong. So guys, I think that's all I've got. I don't even know whether Instagram actually was able to see this because it didn't seem like it was going through, but anyway, the live stream is done. And if you guys didn't see it, then you guys can get back on YouTube and watch it. I apologize if Instagram could not see it. And for the rest of you, have a wonderful rest of the week. Again, I will be traveling back next Monday evening, and I should be landing around 7:30, so I should hopefully be able to get on the live stream at the regularly scheduled time, or maybe a few minutes late. As far as the IADFW, we don't know when I'm going to be permitted by Facebook to go back on my own group and actually post on there, but we're working on that right now. We are coming up with other solutions. There is a lot of censorship, guys. You know about that already. So again, make sure that you register and watch that CIA declassified documentation from the Russian literature that showed the effects of the 5mm waves, and that's at the 5G Summit, and sign that petition. If you are on Instagram and you're hearing this, please click on the link on the profile and you'll see all these different things. And guys, I wish you all a wonderful rest of the week. God bless, and I'll talk to you next week. Bye. All right, for Instagram, I don't know, guys, if you actually saw the whole thing that I put out there. I don't know what's going on, but Instagram puts us on, puts us off. So if in case you guys did not get the message, on the profile, there is a link. Click on that link. The very first one is regarding the CIA declassified research in 2012 based on Russian research that was released in 1977 and onwards, marked only for governmental use. You can watch that presentation for free, and you can register for the 5G Summit completely for free right now. So make sure you get that done. There's a censorship petition that we need about another 40,000 views. Please go ahead and sign that also. And I brought up a couple of other components. One of those is that we are going to have our own channel soon, where all the videos will be there. You don't have to worry about censorship. You can download them anytime you want. It'll be free. There will be another option for paid versions. And we are putting together a page also for wearing a face mask and the dangers of wearing a face mask. So again, this may be repetitive. I don't know whether Instagram actually saw this or not because I don't know whether it was running. But that page will be released next week. I'm working on it right now. It'll be at askdrbuttar.com, and it will be a whole page regarding all the literature that's been published on why a face mask is not safe, as well as some of the videos we've put together, as well as instructions for you how to make sure that you are able to maintain your constitutional rights. So all those things are going to be released here very, very shortly, and I appreciate you guys tuning in. We'll talk to you guys next week. Have a great rest of the week. Bye.